Welcome to Visionaries Global Media, your number one source for podcasting entertainment. Visionaries Global Media, envisioning excellence on a global scale.
This is Band from Ringside.
Tonight on the Band from Ringside podcast, we have a triple threat set up with Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and LA Knight for the number one contendership to Roman Reigns. Your Continental Classic finals, and we also have your World's End and your Wrestle Kingdom predictions. That and a whole bunch more tonight on the Band from Ringside podcast. Ditch that 9 to 5. It's time to feel alive. Hello, Marks. Welcome to the Band for Ringside podcast. As always, I'm your host, Bill Vagey, a.k.a. Dick Smarks, New Year's rockin' Steve Blackman. And out there in Portland, Oregon, we have Two Beers, Zach Pullman. What's going on, Two Beers, Zach?
That was a lot to unpack, man. Not much. Just like I was telling you guys before we started, I saw Iron Claw yesterday. And, a nice little, I like this week between Christmas and New Year's because nobody expects you to do anything in your work or professional life or in your private life. That you can just be. Pretty nice.
Very easily could be the week of the year. And sitting to my left,
what up, turd?
We got Bogue Eastman. What's going on, Vice?
Man, I'm getting really over that.
Oh, you don't like the what up turd anymore?
Done with the what up turd.
Done with it? Oh, you never should have told me that.
What up, turd?
that's
I know where you live.
I tell you what, the Beavers.
I will come find you.
The Beavers are coming up.
Find you.
The Beavers are coming up, and I wouldn't be surprised if what up turd makes an appearance.
I wouldn't be surprised. What if come find you?
Just a little preview for the Beavers. We were going to do the Beavers tonight, but we have no Jason Cornelius Bell. He had work stuff call him away, so you're rocking with us three tonight. We were going to do the Beavers because it would have been a good week and just do predictions too, but can't do the Beavers without Jason. So we're going to kick them down the road a couple weeks. You know what? I was going to give you a bit of a spoiler for the Beavers, but I'm not going to anymore. So we are coming at you from freezing cold St. Charles, Missouri. I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas, a happy Hanukkah, a happy Kwanzaa, whatever you decide to celebrate. I hope that it was good. I hope that it was merry, and I hope that you didn't fight with your relatives too much. Let me make sure I didn't just screw something up here. Nope. Okay, I think we're good to go. So, without further ado, let's get to that 3 count.
1, 2, 3.
Two Beer, kick it off.
I'll just kick it off, do an AEW 1 count, which is not too common. But we're going to be doing predictions later, so we can kind of bookend the show here. But speaking of bookends, Rampage had a nice little bookend. Orange Cassidy and Rocky Romero opened it up, which was just pretty excellent, as you can imagine. That is just two dudes who are very good wrestlers, who have a very good chemistry as partners and as opponents. And I really dug this. And then we also had kind of a rematch from the ROH show, El Hijo del Vikingo versus Black Taurus to bookend this show. There was some stuff in the middle that doesn't really matter. But if you have not seen Rampage and you have the ability to go seek it out, watch those 2 matches because they were dope.
Yeah, I didn't pay too much attention to Orange Cassidy versus Rocky Romero, but I can co-sign on Vikingo versus Black Taurus. That shit being on free TV a week after it was the curtain jerker at Final Battle, Ring of Honor, is really just a nice treat for wrestling fans in the modern day because these guys do shit that you don't see every day. Black Taurus is a tremendous base for Vikingo, who, for my money, is the best aerial wrestler going today. I don't think that I would get a whole lot of argument from that, but yeah, this was awesome. Love it.
No, I think Taurus is the best base too. He has the best high flyer and the best base in all of Lucha Libre. So Black Taurus seems like he might have gotten himself a job.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's fucking incredible. I love him.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for Rampage. Just, pretty fun wrestling show. And actually, that's really what Collision was too. We're building to a pay-per-view. There's a couple storylines that are intriguing here, and we'll get into this with predictions. There's a couple that are kind of stinkers, and then there's the stuff in the middle of like matches just getting thrown together, either through like tournament setup. And this was really kind of where we were at with the Collision was a lot of tournament stuff. So open it up, Continental Classic match, absolute banger. This is again, it's just like one of these things that's on free TV. Bryan Danielson versus Claudio Castagnoli. Not a match that you would normally see under general circumstances. This is kind of one nice thing with the Blackpool Combat Club in the Continental Classic is kind of like, LIJ in the G1, right? You wouldn't normally see Tsuji versus Naito or something like that, but you're going to see it in the G1. And here we got to see Danielson versus Claudio. And you're just like, well, this was just as awesome as I thought it would be. And, it wasn't a TV match. It wasn't like pay-per-view quality as far as like length and stuff like that, but it was really well worked. I think you even texted the group thread about how much of a freak Claudio is. And
absolute freak. I forget what he even did. It was something like he caught Bryan and put him on his shoulder or something, but he was standing on the middle rope. It was freaky what he did. He's a freak show. He's a behemoth.
Yeah, he was on one, and man, this was super fun. Bryan Danielson won. Not a huge surprise there either. Claudio's pretty well protected, but Bryan seems to put over young guys and guys that like need a push. But when it comes to top stars, he's usually winning, which makes sense. So it made sense for him to advance in this also.
What's funny is that during the Christmas week, obviously, like some of the podcasts that I listen to on a weekly basis, took the week off. So the other day, I just went back and picked a random-ass band from Ringside just to see where we were at. It was we were leading up to WrestleMania where it was going to be Daniel Bryan versus Edge and Roman Reigns. And we were talking about Fastlane, the pay-per-view that came probably 3 weeks before WrestleMania, and we were like, I guess it's going to be a triple threat between Reigns and Edge and Daniel Bryan. And me and you were both talking about the main event of Fastlane, which was Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns, and we were talking like, this is as good as WWE wrestling can get. We were just basically sucking Daniel Bryan's dick, which, like I've said before, back in 2009, Facebook shows you memories, and like I had a late night drunken Facebook post one time that was like, "Hey, attention WWE heads, this Daniel Bryan has the best matches," and it got like 2 likes because there are no WWE heads out there. It was probably like 4 a.m. when I was watching it, but this is even before I knew Zach. So I mean, like I've been on record. Daniel Bryan is good.
Yeah,
still is.
Yep. Maybe the real deal best in the world, and he doesn't have to say it every time you see him.
That's right.
Anyway, we had a trios championship match where I really think they should have changed the title, but we did get a little wrinkle in the story, at least. Dante and Darius Martin, and then Action Andretti, which is, I guess, Top Flight as a whole, maybe. I don't know if they're all Top Flight. Anyway. They wrestled the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass, and they had to pull the tights, like Max Caster pulled the tights to get this one done. So there's a little wrinkle there where they're kind of hanging on by a thread. But man, I think it's kind of ready for a change. I know they made those fun belts that Scissor or 69 or whatever. It's all is what it is. But I'm ready for those belts are good for party matches, and the Acclaim and Daddy Ass, they just ain't it. Have the Acclaim go back on a hunt for a tag team belt, and just, Billy Gunn doesn't need to be out there with the championship belt at his age. He ain't Sting. He's fucking Billy Gunn.
Yeah, I was hoping for a title change too. This would have been a good time to do it. I do like the story that they're telling. I wouldn't mind seeing the Acclaim turn heel. Might as well do it now. They're cold as shit.
That's a good idea, actually. Yeah. That would get a lot of heat too, because they're just hot enough to generate some heat with a heel turn.
No doubt.
There was the old big guy match, which was pretty damn good actually. Brian Cage versus Keith Lee. Big dudes. It wasn't really a big meaty men slapping meat. It was like big guys doing things that they shouldn't really be doing.
Right.
Kind of match. But it was pretty fun. And again, just like, kind of going down the list, very solid wrestling on the show.
Big time. As much as I think that Keith Lee is legit a weirdo and his character is very strange. But yeah, this match was really good. I'm on record as being a huge Brian Cage fan. I think that he is underrated and probably underused. Oh, beefers are coming up. I don't know,
It's a beaver.
Who knows? But yeah, this match was cool.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised at anything that came out of Keith Lee's mouth. Like if you were just we're stuck in an elevator with him and he just talked about Garfield for an hour and a half, you'd be like, yeah, that's totally.
Yeah, I can't believe they keep feeding him lasagna.
I can believe that they keep feeding Keith Lee lasagna. I mean,
well, I don't think Keith Lee is saying no.
Homeboy needs to chill out on the Zags.
On the Rayos.
Okay, what's next?
Oh man, there we get I talked about how good the wrestling was on this show, but then you get Christian Cage out there, and the sports entertainment aspect just gets just as good as the wrestling. Dude, he comes out with the prodigy Nick Wayne, and he's the patriarch, and then he comes out with the matriarch. And even though Dana Wayne doesn't do an amazing job as a promo, it was totally serviceable. It got a lot of heat, and Christian's line about how what did he say? He's he scored whenever he won the match. And he's I scored that night, and then I scored another way, and I was like, oh god, so
good. I mean, really, Christian Cage just doing absolute work, just a total pro, getting Nick Wayne over.
And Nick Wayne's right there too. He's just talking about the whole time. What's so funny is Christian has such riz that he manages to just denigrate this boy's dead father to the point that he is now the father figure and banging the mom, seemingly right in front of the son.
Yeah, I mean, what's he gonna do? He's a kid.
Dude, he's got his hands behind his back.
What a storyline. This shit is why I love wrestling. You can't do that in any other form of entertainment and make it work in the way that it works in pro wrestling.
It is that's 100% true. Wrestling is the strangest thing in pop culture on the planet Earth. I stand by that. That's why I love it. And Christian, might get a couple beefers of his own.
Oh, yeah. He's in line for a beefer.
Who wants a beefer?
This is the beefers.
Oh, man. That's a good drop. I'm ready for that one to come back.
Yeah, for sure.
Then we had another Continental Classic match, Daniel Garcia versus Brody King. And this was good. I mean, these guys both did a fantastic job in the tournament. Brody in a sense of getting a lot of wins, getting a lot of respect as a singles wrestler. Garcia just by putting in work and developing his character in kind of this ancillary storyline, as well as kind of the evolution of Daniel Garcia. But it was Garcia that actually won, which was another surprise. And I thought that was a nice little wrinkle to the whole thing. So, yeah, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I wish they would have given us a few more upsets in the tournament. I mean, when you look at Swerve and Jay White and John Moxley, they all had 12 points out of a possible 15. That just means that they all beat up on each other, and that means that Briscoe and Lethal lost a lot. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more interplay, or just play with the points, but that's a total nitpick.
They really did.
Yeah.
Try to protect people, like certain people in this tournament, and I think it's a totally valid criticism. I think the tournament's been a great success because
it has
just been so good. Just tuning in every week, you know what kind of matches you're going to get. Like, this is good shit. But yeah, I think that's a valid criticism.
You sound like Vince there. This is good shit.
Good shit, pal.
Except he was saying it. Except he was saying it when he saw Santina dressed up like a woman. That's good shit.
Dude, it's so funny. So I was watching WrestleMania the first night today. Actually, the main event's on right now, just in the background. And I was watching that, for the Beefers. And you can still see his touches on some of this shit. And it's funny because that was a great show. But WWE is so much better than it was even 8 months ago. It's crazy without him. It's so much better. Anyway.
That's another thing that happened when we were talking about that fast lane, which, like, we just, by the way, I do not remember that pay-per-view at all. But, like, we were killing the pay-per-view, just absolutely killing the pay-per-view. And in fact, I think I admitted, like, halfway through the conversation, I was like, I didn't watch the first 5 matches. I was like, sorry. But you guys were killing the pay-per-view, and we were just killing Vince. We were like, this sucks because Vince always does this, X, Y, and Z. And yeah, it has been a remarkable year for wrestling. I'm not trying to push the Beavers too hard. I just had them on my mind because up until a couple days ago, we were going to do it, and I was like filling out all my Beaver stuff. So it is on the brain. But it has been a remarkable year in wrestling. If nothing else, that WWE is a completely viable, fun product, again, that's worth watching every week. And it's not like eating your broccoli anymore.
Not at all. Yeah, I too have the Beefers on my mind and my mind on the Beefers. So, we don't even talk about the women's tag match. It was there. And then we had main event, which was another Continental Classic match. This time, Andrade El Idolo versus Eddie Kingston. And now that I am looking at it, I remember that I did not watch this match. I paused the stream, and then I never turned it back on. So what happened?
Eddie Kingston goes over, gives Andrade tons of offense, wins with the backhand thing that just never looks very good to me, although he hit Brian with one last night that was pretty tough. Yeah, this was another stellar entry in the C2 matches that I'm going to keep calling it C2 until it sticks. But
I've heard some guys in the company call it C2 in promos and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't think that I had made it up, but I like it because it's easier than saying Continental Classic, and it kind of sounds like a G1 ripoff, which is exactly what it is.
What it is.
So, yeah, this match delivered.
Tony Khan's like, Dad, can we have G1? And Shad Khan's like, we have G1 at home, and it's just the C2.
Right. It's like when my parents got me a lotto jacket when I asked for a starter.
Exactly.
What is the name of Kingston's backhand? What is that move called?
The spinning back fist.
Is that the double whopper with cheese?
Just lumpy mashed potatoes.
Oh, man.
Who knows?
Is it the McDouble?
Oh, I'll take a McDouble with some fries.
I'll take the McGangbang.
Give me the McDouble with some fries. That's my Eddie Kingston. All right, yeah. Collision was really good. Really good wrestling on Collision. And I mean, Vikingo and Black Taurus. I mean, Rampage and Collision. Shit. I mean, there's so much fucking wrestling. So much good wrestling.
Dynamite. It was New Year's Smash. This was hit and miss. But when it hit, it hit. Yeah. And when it missed, it missed. So, but you know, it was a good show. It was a fun night. It opened up with a fantastic match that was unlike anything we've seen in the tournament so far. It was Jon Moxley, Swerve Strickland, and Jay White three-way to advance to the finals of the C2. And this was a tournament of no interference. It was a tournament of decently technical wrestling for the most part. This was a flat-out brawl. They really went with the no DQ aspect because it's a triple threat. Jay White was just laying dudes out with chairs. Jon Moxley finally got to go brawl in the crowd like he loves to do so much. And
he's been jonesing for it.
Yep, you can tell. Everybody shone, and Moxley got his win back over Jay, pinned him clean, and then Swerve stays strong by not being pinned. Pretty much exactly how I had it booked in my head. He goes on to the finals. Fantastic opening to, again, a weekly television show. They went through at least 2 commercial breaks on the show. This match had to be like 20-some minutes long.
I think I saw it was 25-30. So
yeah.
What more can you ask for than a pay-per-view level match between those 3 guys, their biggest star, their hottest star, and Jay White, who hasn't really caught on the way that we would probably want him. I would give his first year in the company, a solid B, but a guy that this podcast is a huge fan of, and he's certainly somebody that you can put in a situation like that who's going to rise to the level of the match and do a great job. This match was fucking awesome. Like I said, pay-per-view level. As I was watching, I was like, man, put over Swerve. Put over Swerve. Let's just, because it really, Zach's been saying it the whole time, I think, but it really did look like we were going towards Moxley and Kingston ever since Kingston started back on the run after losing his first 2 matches. This match delivered. There's so much more to go with these guys, and Swerve's going to get his heat right back by going over strong on Keith Lee. So, hope that, spoiler for predictions, but that's what I think is going to happen at World's End. But, yeah, this match was awesome.
Yeah, totally. And then Mariah May, they had a little thing with Swerve, but basically it was just a promo that said that he's going to face Keith Lee, like you just said. Mariah May was interviewed by Renee Paquette. She said she's going to debut 2024 as like the first Dynamite of 2024, which is good. She needs to wrestle because she's done a really good job with her character as like a Toni Storm sycophant. It's been a lot of fun, but she's also a very good wrestler. So that'll be cool. And then Riho came out. Toni Storm came out. I love when they switch the camera to Toni Storm. It goes black and white. But Riho ran wild on all of them. And Luther ended up like grabbing Toni Storm and like goes to carry her away. And Riho jumps off the top rope and knocks him down. This was a fun segment to set up the title match at World's End.
Short but effective. They didn't have to overdo it. This program has it seems kind of cobbled together, but it hasn't been a bad build at all. And I think that just shows how strong of a heel character Toni Storm is and how rootable. I probably shouldn't call women rootable. How easy it is to root for somebody like Rio as an underdog challenger to the champion. So yeah, this was cool.
2 beers still in your jokes.
I was down with this. Yeah. So speak on the next part for a second. I'll be right back.
I love Orange Cassidy's new gimmick of accepting challenges before people make them. He did it to Rocky Romero, and we had that banger match on Rampage, and now he just did it to Top Flight, the trio of Top Flight with Action Andretti. And Rocky afterwards says, yeah, he just did the same shit to me. But I'm into it. I think that's a fun gimmick. I can almost hear myself. I feel like Bill set the microphone down next to his headphones. And I'm just reverberating.
No, he set it down and then walked away. So you're on your own right now. Because
right on.
I was sick.
I just thought he said
I was sick and was high and didn't watch a whole lot of wrestling. So you're flying solo. Goose.
No worries. We will move on.
What did he ask me?
Old,
I'm back.
I was giving
Nothing.
you
He
shit.
said he said you were ugly and you couldn't read good.
Cut it out. All right. Go ahead, Zach.
We had Miro challenging Andrade El Idolo at World's End. That'll be another match. So that could be pretty good.
Yeah, that has the chance to be really good. The last time we saw Miro in a meaningful one-on-one match was him versus Powerhouse Hobbs, which was fucking awesome. So,
Yeah, that's true.
and Andrade is a better wrestler than Hobbs, so let's see it. Bring it on.
Yeah, they are both dudes who, like, they're former WWE guys who don't like to lose very much. So that is an interesting angle too, because remember, like, they were both.
Who
like,
among us
collision
does, Zach? Who likes to lose?
dudes. Yeah, that's true. But I like to get paid, win or lose. But man, it's funny because they were both collision dudes that were like off television for one reason or another, for backstage bullshit, that were on like the show with all mostly the problematic people. It's just pretty funny.
You know, it's kind of strange is now I think about it. I don't think I've ever clocked into work and then clocked out and been like, yeah, I won that shift. Every single shift is just a fucking loser. It's like, I got to do this again.
Fuck that. That's
It's
how
just a
I
love,
look at
yeah.
every day.
Work
I
sucks.
clock in, I clock out, I own that bitch.
Work sucks. I know.
We had Don Callis week celebration with the return of Sammy Guevara. So Sammy had joined the Don Callis Society and turned heel, but then he got concussed, and then he had a baby, all kind of at the same time. And basically, this was Sammy turning babyface, coming out and talking shit to Callis. Starts getting beat down, but Jericho comes and makes the save with the baseball bat. Then we have La Sex Gods, as a tag team, which kind of works because Omega's out for the indefinite future, and Jericho needs a tag team partner. So
it would be really funny if they had like a running tally, and it's like it shows at the bottom of the screen how many heel and face turns Big Show had career, and then like the running tally underneath it was Sammy Guevara. It's like, oh, he's a babyface again, huh? Okay. The old Paul White method. Like when Jericho's music hit, I was like, fuck. I was like, okay, I guess he's a babyface again. I don't know. It seems like, it seems like he switches a lot. I will say that I'm a little disappointed that Hobbs and Takeshita both had big, meaningful wins, and the creative that followed up those wins has kind of not done them any favors. Don Callis is still the star of that faction, and they're still just seen as two little minions when really both of them have had stuff that AEW easily could have built off of, and they just either there were extenuating circumstances or they just chose not to, which is a shame because there was definitely some foundation there that they could have done with both those dudes.
yeah, you're right about that. Neither one of them feels like they're doing anything right now. I did forget that Starks and Big Bill are the ones that came out and beat them, Sammy and Jericho up, and then we had the return of Darby Allin and Sting. So seems like they're moving away from the Jericho Omega, and it looks like we might get like a multi-man tag team. It'd be pretty interesting. Be kind of cool if Sting and Darby won the belt, but I don't really want Starks and Big Bill to lose them either. So
I'll tell you what, Don Callis kind of was stealing Christian's gimmick here, just straight up telling Sammy Guevara he's going to be a terrible dad. Like, not really giving any reasons. Just being like, you're going to be a terrible dad. You're going to fail at this just like you're going to fail at being a father. It's like, what the fuck? Come on, Callis. So good. Give Don Callis more fucking mic time.
Oh yeah, I mean every week it could be him and Christian battling for who's the most despicable piece of shit in wrestling.
Oh man, I would love to see them battle each other. Both as heels.
That'd be so good.
Dude, him versus Paul Heyman, just going back and forth between The companies.
No,
That'd be
but
awesome.
But right now, Callis versus Christian would be a really funny thing.
Oh my God, we'd be laughing every night and flinching.
Like Roderick Strong is out there saying Max is the devil, and dude, at this point, Roderick Strong is just like that kid who like farted on the bus, and he's yelling that somebody else farted just to cover it up. He seems like he's definitely the devil.
Oh, I guess I really wasn't thinking that way, but I really, I've kind of stopped caring. In fact, at this point when I was watching Dynamite, I was like, you know what they should do is never end this. Just, never shows who the devil is until they can sign Hornswoggle.
and two of them.
Yeah.
So they can stack them on top of each other like minions.
Oh God, like 3 raccoons in a trench coat.
That'd be hilarious.
We had a fantastic C2 match. This was the Blue League final. This was Eddie Kingston versus Bryan Danielson, and holy shit, these guys just laid it all out there. Man, this was good. Just hard chops, good wrestling, and we did Eddie hit him with the double whopper with cheese and power bombed him.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Trademark BFR.
We were both laughing. Sorry, Zach. Zach paused for us to laugh, and we were just both off mic laughing. No,
On mute.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't pausing for a laugh. I was pausing because I was reading results. But we did have.
He was looking at porn.
He is in the finals. Yeah, as always. But yeah, Eddie's in the finals with Moxley, pretty much just like I had predicted, because I am the smartest man alive. But
really?
Moxley then came out, and they had a fantastic promo battle back and forth. Just absolutely believable. Moxley managed to build up his opponent and build the match without tearing his opponent down at all, and also without making himself look anything, make himself look like anything but the ace of the company. It was just a masterclass in promos, and then Eddie ripped the mic out of his hands and you talked enough, and then Eddie cut a fantastic promo. And there's something about Eddie's believability that he feels very genuine, and maybe part of it is because he did the thing that Bill talks about all the time, where he says something smarky, where he's like, I think, what did he say? His last line was, "I'm gonna bust you up and enjoy it," and then he's like, "Yeah, that's my outline," basically saying
yeah,
hit my music.
I thought that Moxley, first of all, pretend I'm standing in front of a sign right now that says Bryan Danielson is the best wrestler in the world, has been for many, many years, and can have a great, great match with anybody. And now I'm going to say, don't make me tap the sign, because he had an incredible match with Eddie Kingston. Way, way, way fun. I mean, for me, it rivaled the opening triple threat. I thought that's as good. I mean, that was another pay-per-view level match that went 20 minutes, and it was awesome. With the promos afterwards, I thought that Moxley's was really good, but Moxley was like, listen, man, for somebody who acts like nobody, that the whole world's against you, you got a lot of people that love you. And then he, as Zach said, he cut a great promo, and then Eddie grabs the mic and then basically starts talking about it was like Moxley hadn't said a single word. It's like when you get in a fight with your wife, and after you do the thing that she asked you to do, like, she's still mad at you, and it's like, hold on a second. Joe, hold on a second. I just did the thing.
But the leaves are raked, right?
Yeah, it's like, why was Kingston so mad?
Clean.
Why was Kingston so mad at him? Like, they have a history. Kingston was mad. I hope that Moxley destroys him. Dude, he's not going to, though. Kingston's going to retain.
Moxley probably ate the last 2 White Castle doubles. And that's what the problem is.
20 years ago.
20 minutes ago.
But yeah, Kingston, what did I write down here? Oh. I wrote down what a little bitch, and I spelled little L-I-L.
Oh my God.
Anyway, great segment.
Kingston's still mad that Moxley smoked his last half of a Newport.
Right.
He put it out on his shoe, and then he was going to save it for later.
He put it out before offering him the last hit. Sure, you don't want to hit this butt? You want to hit this butt?
Christian Cage is backstage, or somewhere. He's somewhere with Lexi there, asking her where Renee is, and then whenever she goes to respond, interrupting her, which I thought was very funny. And then Adam Copeland, or Edge, comes in and just completely destroys him. So, as someone with such a heated blood feud should, like, there shouldn't be a backstage sit down. Like, they're getting ready to fight.
This was perfectly done. Let Christian do what Christian does, and then have Edge really sell the ferocity of the match. I'm looking forward to this match quite a bit. I think it's going to be awesome, and I can't wait to see what the angle is, because there's going to be an angle.
Yeah. Be a good match. Chris Statlander and Sky Blue had a pretty nice little match, and Tinder Mahal posted in our group chat and said that they returned Sky Blue into Rhea Ripley, and I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I watched this week, and then she has metal music that she's coming out to, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe. So yeah, that seems pretty accurate. They're like, hey, it's working over there.
Yeah, Sky Blue goes over. Julia Hart is there with her. I still don't know why Sky Blue and Julia Hart are on a team together. Was it because of that mind-altering stuff that Julia Hart did? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think it was the myth.
Okay. All right, yeah. Cool. Sky Blue goes over.
What do you guys think about the old Ruby Soho cool Ange angle you got going on?
I mean, is it just that they like each other?
Yeah, I think it's like they like each other and they're dating, and nobody else likes it. Like, their friends don't like it for whatever stupid reason.
Yeah, I've never been there before. Yeah, I'm down with any story like this. Any sort of sports entertainment-y type shit. Yeah, you can give it to me as long as it's on the undercard.
Yeah, it seems a little juvenile, but it's also doing nice little mix. And then we got Harley in there for some reason. I don't know why she's not on TV more often.
Yeah, I know she should be on TV a lot more. That's cool that she has been added to the mix.
And then main event time, we had Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship match. MJF and Samoa Joe versus the Devil's Masked Men. And when I said this was a show of hits and misses, this was a big old miss. So, again, MJF's partner is taken out. MJF has to go it alone. But unlike every time that he's done this, he is beaten, but he's also beaten by people we don't know who they are, and that has no heat. And now they have the ROH tag titles, and we don't even know who they are. There was no payoff here except the title change. But then the after-match angle was good, because Samoa Joe got a lot of heat, because apparently he's been in on this thing since the start. And he smashes him with a chair, much like Seth Rollins did to Dean Ambrose so long ago. Just smashes him in the back with the chair and leaves him, pretty banged up, and gives him the muscle buster. And Joe was already a monster going into this, and MJF's kind of coming in as an underdog, beaten up as the world champion. So pretty classic babyface heel psychology. Pretty good. Joe also is one of those guys that is just so fucking cool that even when he's a heel, he has a hard time getting heat because people just like him so much because he's fucking awesome. So him doing this was a good way to get heat going into this weekend. This Devil's Masked Men thing, I can't believe they even did a match, let alone change titles. Who do you make the check out to?
Who does it say on ROH's website that the tag team champions are?
Yeah, it's like It's like I saw somebody describe it as like we have vacant at home, and it's like vacant, but
Right.
like, it's just like an actual person.
But yeah, Joe being in on it felt like they were giving us a development to the story, but they actually weren't paying off the story, and it's kind of like that's a half measure. So I guess that's okay. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. Joe sold it, of course, because Joe's good. MJF sold it. This has kind of been a mess. That's gone on a really long time. So I wish that they would have given us some sort of indication that we would find out who the devil is at World's End, but they have not. So it might just still be going. Maybe it just goes forever.
Wrestle forever.
Yeah, so just never ends.
Right. So
Yeah, but that was AEW.
So yeah, and we'll have some more AEW coming up in the near future with our World's End predictions. But with that, let's get to that 2 count.
1, 2, 3.
All right, for the 2 count, we can do SmackDown, which there was no Raw this week because it happened on Christmas night when we were celebrating the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who is 200. But so it starts off with AJ Styles, LA Knight, and Randy Orton in the middle of the ring, and they are arguing about who has the most legitimate claim to challenge Roman Reigns' title at the Royal Rumble. And Nick Aldis comes out, predictably, but this is what we want to do, is a triple threat match between the 3 to find out who is going to challenge Roman Reigns. What do you think about this, Zach?
I mean, that's a fun, money match. It's a good way to do it. It's a good way to have a match with stakes on television. I'm into that. I think that's cool.
Yeah, who do you think is going to win?
I feel like it's got to be Randy.
That's what I'm thinking, too. That Randy Orton is facing Roman Reigns. That's a legitimate money match that they can have at Royal Rumble, and it doesn't have to be the main draw of the pay-per-view, even though that very well could be the main draw of a pay-per-view, Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns. But, yeah, that's what I'm thinking also. We had a women's 4-on-4 match. Let's see. We had we had the Bloodline backstage where Roman Reigns tells Paul Heyman, call for Nick Aldis. Up next, we had another great television match. I mean, I know we sound like broken records here, but it just really is an embarrassment of riches. We had Dragon Lee versus Butch, formerly Pete Dunne, in a match for the North American Championship. Dragon Lee goes over. This match was really fun. What you think of it, Zach?
Yeah, that was killer. I didn't realize that was going to be. I don't know when it was announced or whatever. I don't ever go into the WWE shows knowing what's going to happen. But that was a pleasant surprise. And, man, those guys can both go.
Yeah, we have up next, we have Nick Aldis and Roman Reigns have their little encounter backstage. Nick Aldis does not get intimidated by Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns says, "Why didn't you run any of this by me?" He's like, "I don't have to run it by you." Some very WWE ass stuff, which is the GM in the back talking to the big bad heel champion. What you think of it?
Man, I loved it. I think Nick Aldis is so good in that role, and I love the angle that they're going where he is he's a big dude. He's a actual legit wrestler. He's a legit athlete. Like, he's not going to take shit. Like, he's one of the boys. Like, he's not going to take shit even from Reigns, who's this huge megastar and is such a bigger star than pretty much anybody in wrestling, and maybe since Cena, as far as he's just that dude now, where he wasn't historically. But anyway, he's just not intimidated by him. He's just like, yeah, we're going to do things, my show. And I think Reigns is really good at being this he really is great at acting like this huge megastar and kind of acting like a diva, and seeing that interplay whenever things don't go his way. He does a really great job acting that out too. So yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah, no doubt. This was a good segment. And continuing the record skip that we have here, we have another good television match with Kevin Owens versus Carmelo Hayes. Kevin Owens goes over in the in the tournament to find out who is going to challenge Logan Paul at the Royal Rumble. So now, well, I won't get into the next match yet, but KO goes over. What do you think about this match?
Yeah, it was really good. This is a really good show, and hard to root for. I like both these guys a lot, and I think the crowd liked both these guys a lot. So it was kind of a full-on babyface match. But this was kind of Kevin Owens' tournament to lose, and Carmelo Hayes was there to shine in defeat, and he certainly did that. I could see Carmelo being in the Rumble for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I hope that we do see it. That would be a fun surprise entrant. I hope that if we do see it, they don't announce it ahead of time. But, yeah, like you said, KO's tournament to lose. Logan Paul cuts a promo afterwards, but he says that KO is the type of guy that doesn't take his shirt off in the pool, which I thought was really, really funny. Up next, we have AJ Styles backstage with the OC. AJ Styles acts like he doesn't want anything to do with them, so I guess that's a story that they'll tell going forward. Kind of forgot the OC was around, so yeah, not much to say here except that looks like AJ is going his own way. What do you think, Zach?
I mean, Gallows and Anderson are just happy to be collecting a check and not having to wrestle. They're like, they only do stuff with him whenever AJ is on TV. Like, they are not hurt or anything. It's just AJ wasn't around. And, I mean, they're fucking carnies till the end. They're like, yeah, that's fine. We don't have to travel. We can just sit home, collect the check. They're good.
Yeah. Up next, we have the other semifinals to the Logan Paul sweepstakes. We have Bobby Lashley versus Santos Escobar. Santos Escobar ends up going over after he gets saved by your boys, Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo, the Los Lotharios. Happy to see them called up. I am a big fan of that team. What you think here?
Yeah, very exciting. You know, if this was 8 months ago, like we were talking about, and Vince was around, and be like, oh, they'll get 3 weeks of TV and then we'll never see him again. But they are super talented, and especially with Santos in there, and they've got this. I feel like they have like a good kind of Latinx crew right now that they can move forward with and really kind of capture that Hispanic audience, and also give us very good wrestling. I'm all for it. I think it's a winner.
Yeah, there's if you include Joaquin Wilde and the other guy, I mean, I know that they haven't gone with Santos as he's turned to the heel side, but I mean, they're still around too. So they are well represented, those Latino wrestlers on WWE main roster right now. And Los Lotharios they're cool as fuck. So this was cool. And then so it's going to be Santos versus KO in the finals. I think that we'd both be picking KO. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's going to be a cool match, and I am looking forward to it. That's happening at day 1, correct?
I think so.
Up next, we have... So I wrote done. So we have Butch backstage with Pretty Deadly. He starts fighting them. Nick Aldis tells Butch to grab a partner, and he can face and they can face Pretty Deadly at WWE Day 1. So, who do you think that Pete Dunne is going to pick? Butch.
I mean, he has a partner. Or he had a partner. I guess are him and what's his name split up now?
Ridge.
Yeah.
Well, Ridge had a big angle on NXT recently, and they've said that he's going to be on NXT next week also. So,
But I mean, there's guys that are on, like Dragon Lee and those guys. They're all on both shows.
Yeah,
So
I mean that is true. It doesn't seem like that backstage setup would lead to him picking Ridge Holland, though.
I feel like they could do like a cross promotional angle. I know they just did it, and I said I didn't like it last week, but he was the guy that was wrestling with the Pretty Deadly. I forget which one, but whenever he got hurt and like tore his back or whatever, and so maybe they could have him like kayfabe injure him again, and then.
I think it would be cool if Butch chose Tyler Bate, and we had Butch.
Oh my God, how great would that be?
Butch and Tyler Bate as a tag team on the main roster, I think would be super sick.
Oh, that would be so much
Holy
fun.
shit.
So much fun.
Yeah. Then we have Logan Paul cut his vignette about Santos Escobar and Kevin Owens. I already said the best line. Logan Paul, it was a really good little vignette.
He is hilarious.
Yeah, it was very good. And what's funny is I'm also that guy. But what you can do now that's very handy is I wear rash guards, which are SPF, and there's like a total reason to wear it in the pool besides the fact that I'm fat. I don't have to put sunscreen on.
I didn't realize that struck such a nerve with you.
No, I just think it's funny because
doesn't feel that way.
I felt seen. I'm not mad about it. I laughed as hard as anybody.
I feel seen. We have AJ Styles versus Solo Sikoa. It all breaks down. I don't even know if a winner was declared, but SmackDown goes off the air with AJ Styles, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and LA Knight just kind of shoving each other in the ring. Not much to say about this. AJ Styles and Solo, of course, can go together. I wish that there's something left in the tank if they want to revisit it in the future, though.
No, this is like a really good episode of television, and then they announced that main event, and I was like, well, this is all leading up to like nothing. So I knew that we weren't going to get a finish. Like,
right.
They're not going to beat AJ, and they're not going to beat Solo. So it was just that part was kind of very WWE. That's one thing that AEW doesn't really do is when they give matches, we get finishes.
Right.
99% of the time. So I do like that. But, I knew what was happening going in, so I wasn't mad about it.
Right. All right. That is our WWE recap. Let's get to that 3 count.
1, 2, 3.
3 beer. What's the 3 count?
All right. We have Wrestle Kingdom, which is, for the uninitiated, the WrestleMania of New Japan, and it is a fantastic way to kick off a new year. It is always January 4th. It is always at the Tokyo Dome. It is, interestingly, just one night this year. Last few years it's been 2 nights, but we just got one night here, and it's always fantastic, and it's interesting because when we do things like the Beefers and we look back at a year at wrestling, it seems so long ago because it was just a full year ago. But anyway, get right into it. We'll get in. You want to just get into predictions while we talk about it?
Yeah, let's go. Let's just start with predictions.
All right, great. So first match, we are going to have the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match. Catch 22, which is TJP and Francisco Akira versus the Bullet Club War Dogs, which is Drilla Maloney and Clark Connors, who are the current champions. What you got?
So, the War Dogs, I'm happy to see Driller Maloney and Clark Connors in this kind of position. I'm happy to see them get a Wrestle Kingdom match on a single night. I'm guessing that this is the curtain jerker?
Yeah. And just for reference, the current standing between the War Dogs and the Catch-22 is 3-0 War Dogs.
Yeah, I am picking Catch-22 here. This would be, if this is the curtain jerker, a title change here would probably be the, best way to go to goose the crowd a little bit. So I'm going to take Catch-22.
Yeah, I'm doing the exact same thing for the exact same reason. So,
Jason also had Catch 22. So we are in agreement there. Looking forward to this. I'm sure this is going to fucking rule.
Yeah, another match that's going to rule because it always does, and this is about the best match that you can have for this legend. We have a New Japan World Television Championship match between the champion Zack Sabre Jr. and the challenger Hiroshi Tanahashi. Tanahashi is just his body's given out. Tanahashi also the new president of New Japan Pro Wrestling, so that's pretty cool. He's the shoot president. So that's pretty dope. And their singles record is 6-5 Tanahashi. I have a feeling Zach is evening up the score here with this one.
So you're taking ZSJ?
Yes.
As am I. I would rather see Zack Sabre Jr. in here against an up-and-comer, and Zack could probably drop the title, but that's neither here nor there. They're going to give Tanahashi the spot on the biggest show of the year. Makes sense. Tanahashi becoming legit shoot president of New Japan is very cool. It might symbolize that they're going in a different direction. Might help if they're trying to re-sign Okada, but I am taking ZSJ also. Jason also taking Zack Sabre Jr. What's next?
Next we have Yota Tsuji versus Yuya Uemura, and I mean, very cool to see these guys having a match together at Wrestle Kingdom. This has an opportunity. I don't want to say show stealer because there's some really excellent matches on here, but it's a dark horse for like a very excellent match. These guys were both young lions at the same time. There was a G1 where they basically opened up every match or every night of matches by they were just doing like 10-minute draws, and it was awesome. I watched every single one of them. I freaking loved it. And then they were just trading wins back and forth. They would just go back, forth. Right now, these guys, their New Japan singles record against each other is 15, 10, and 22. They have had 47 matches against each other. This is match 48, and it's at Wrestle Kingdom, and they're both still rookies in their wrestling careers. That said, it would be cool to have Uemura get like a kind of a surprising win here, but I think this is all Yota Tsuji for sure.
Yeah, I think it's Yota Tsuji also. Did you say that they have 22 draws?
22 draws, yeah.
Is that because they were in those matches that were like 5-minute matches?
No, they were 10-minute matches, 10-minute draws.
10-minute draws, huh? That is wild. Have you heard about this thing that WWE might do that's called WWE Speed? Where it's like, I think the time limit is 5 minutes. And like they're trying.
I think it's 5 minutes, and they're counting like points for like pinfalls and stuff. It's like a 5-minute Iron Man match, it's like kind of a thing.
I gotta say, kind of into that. That sounds cool. That sounds like a cool little.
Different.
Yeah, it's something different, and it doesn't. I didn't roll my eyes at it when I first heard it.
Not at all. And one of my favorite parts of Stardom is that high-speed title. And those are not 5-minute matches. And I don't even think they're necessarily time limit any different than the other ones. Maybe a little bit shorter, but certainly than like the red belt or whatever. But they're just high-speed in the sense like it's almost like they're cruiserweights, but they're going to go fast. But I think that's a cool thing. Like, I'm all for innovation in pro wrestling, and that sounds pretty neat.
Yeah, I'm into it. What match were we talking about here? Oh, Yota Tsuji. I too am taking Yota Tsuji, and so did Jason. So we are on the same. We are 3 for 3. Come on, let's mix it up. What's next?
All right. Next we have Kaito Kiyomiya and Ryohei Oiwa versus House of Torture, Evil, and Ren Narita.
Wait a minute, is it not Shota Umino?
It's Shota Umino. Why does it say? I'm on the New Japan website. That's weird. It is, but it says Rahio. Yeah, anyway, it's Shota Umino. So that said, I don't even care. got Shota and Kaito. I haven't put thought into it. I always bet against House of Torture because I hate them. So I will always bet with my heart here.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that Shota and Kaito Kiyomiya win. Kaito Kiyomiya, for being a guy that's in Noah technically and not in New Japan, getting a G1 slot and then getting a match on the Wrestle Kingdom card, really with nothing at stake, kind of seems to me like it's in the cards that he is going to sign with New Japan. But that being said, taking House of Torture, so is Jason. Rin Narita being in House of Torture is a big disappointment. I think that we talked about it sometime, but they like House of Torture. I see House of Torture going on. So does Jason.
Hey, we're changing it up. Then we have a never open weight championship match. Shingo Takagi challenging Hamatonga. Their current singles record is 1-0-1, with Takagi having 1 win and they have 1 draw. So, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Wish this match wasn't Tamatonga. I wish it was Shingo versus somebody else. It's a little bit more exciting. But again, there's only one night of Wrestle Kingdom, so they're giving their veteran stars matches, a lot of them. But I am taking Shingo. I really hope that Shingo wins. Jason also took Shingo.
Yeah, I really hope so too. And actually, Shingo is the champion. I'm sorry, it's not Tamatonga. I don't know what I was thinking. So yeah. Anyway, yes, I absolutely want Shingo to win. I will rarely bet against Shingo, but with my heart with that guy, love him.
Jason taking Shingo also.
All right, so now we have the IWGP and New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Championship double title match. So this is Bishamon versus Guerrillas of Destiny. They are currently 1-1. So this is we've got on one side, champions on both sides here, but I guess winners take all, and they'll be unifying. Seems like they're getting rid of all the strong titles, or at least unifying them into other things. I will go first here. Bishamon, probably Japanese Tag Team of the Year. I mean, it makes sense. They also won the World Tag League. That said, I think Hikuleo and Phantasmo make a pretty good team. And I think, be a nice little change of pace to give them a run. So let's give them a run.
Jason took Bishamon. Zach is taking Guerrillas of Destiny. I'm the tiebreaker, and I just got to say this. We are the G.O.D., and we came to rock the spot like Iron Man style. I want to keep going. They be the illest MCs in the world today. Ooh doo 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 doo. Kappa Raekwon and the Aussie A. So listen to it clear and put the box right near your ear. Light your blunts and down your beers, 'cause you can never fuck with Wu-Tang Killer Bees. Burn it. Anyway, I'm taking Guerrillas of Destiny.
You are BFR Nation. You are welcome.
I'm taking like Zach said, ELP and Hikuleo are kind of a fun team. So let's switch it up. Bishamon definitely had a great run, 2 runs with the tag team belts, but let's switch it up. I'm taking GOD. So I'm taking both tag belts with title changes.
Yeah, me too. All right, then we have, which is gonna be this is a match that we've seen many times, and we know it's awesome. It's no surprise that these guys are gonna just put on a hell of a performance. We have IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Hiromu Takahashi defending against Despy. Their current singles record stands at 3 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw. So they're pretty much tied up across the board. So what say you? I think Takahashi is going to retain.
Yeah, I'm taking Hiromu to retain also. Jason, switching up with us again, is taking El Desperado. I'm not sure these guys have ever had a match in front of a cheering crowd. I think that the bulk of their rivalry was during clap crowds. I think these guys are going to cut it loose. Very much looking forward to this. Hiromu is a must-watch. Every single match he has is fucking awesome. Really looking forward to this. Maybe the match that I'm looking forward to the most? I don't know, except for maybe Danielson and Okada. But, yeah, I am taking Hiromu. Jason took Desperado.
Oh, yeah. This is good. We're getting it mixed up. All right. IWGP Global Championship. So this is a brand new title. Will Ospreay versus Jon Moxley versus David Finlay. This one is very interesting. Ospreay is on his way out. Jon Moxley is John fucking Moxley. He is over and protected in both companies. And David Finlay is kind of who they're pushing to be the next big gaijin in the company. So there are a lot of, I would say, even though if Will Ospreay had not signed that big contract with AEW, I'd say he's almost a shoe-in for this, unless he was going for the IWGP. But he's on his way out. Moxley has shown that he is willing to work both companies, and he's not really doing much in AEW right now as far as titles, except he's in that Continental Classic, and I think he's going to lose to Eddie Kingston. Spoiler alert for predictions here in a minute. But so I could see him winning this. That said, I do think they are going strong with Finlay and having Finlay go over Ospreay and keeping John protected, maybe even for a big money match between him and Finlay down the road seems like the way to go. So I'm going to go with David Finlay.
Oh, man, so you're going Finlay as most likely, and who do you have as least likely?
Ospreay.
Okay. So all three of us are different on this one. Jason has Finlay as least likely, Ospreay is most next, and Moxley is most likely. I think that he put Finlay, Ospreay, Mox in order on his text message. So I think that's least to most because that's how we usually do it. I'm taking Moxley as the least likely to win it. And I don't see him being involved in the finish either, which now that I'm thinking about it might not make any sense. I'm picking Finlay to win. I'm picking Ospreay as second most likely just because he can have 1 foot in and 1 foot out, I guess. I'm taking Moxley as least likely. So we're all three different on that one.
Ooh.
That's fun.
Yeah, that is fun.
Happy to be here.
What's next? I'll be right back.
All right. Next is the repeat of the dream match that was kind of stolen from us by Bryan Danielson's broken arm at Forbidden Door. But we have arguably the real main event of this Wrestle Kingdom. I think Okada's even gotten pretty lippy and said, let's let the fans decide who's going to be the main event because he knows that Sonata's cold. And he knows that he's the shit. And these guys, it's Kazuchika Okada versus Bryan Danielson. The singles record currently stands 1-0 Danielson. Even though Danielson broke his arm, he still tapped Okada out. Okada doesn't lose that often. He certainly does not tap. He had not tapped in years. So I think this is the moment where Okada gets his win back. And this is likely going to be match of the night, potential match of the year, and it's only going to be January 4th. So,
yeah, fingers crossed that nothing happens like last time where they had to alter their plan due to injury, but we're all in agreement on this one. We all have Okada getting his win back against Bryan Danielson. Definitely can't wait for this match. Can't wait for this match. So, what more can be said? It should fucking rule. And then what's next?
Main event time. It is IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Sonata versus Tetsuya Naito. Their current singles record stands at 2-1. Sonata. I certainly think that this is Naito's kind of swan song championship run like we had when Tanahashi beat Omega at Wrestle Kingdom a few years ago. He had that kind of last run of his career. I think that's the time for Naito as well. Sonata's a really good wrestler. He's just not that guy. Unfortunately, we thought that he might
wrestler.
Oh, but he is. He's so good. And the matches that he's had with Okada, and I think one thing that hurt was he was really kind of wrestling a lot of the younger talent and really helping to get them over. And like in the case of Yota Tsuji, I think Yota Tsuji got over more than Sonata.
Definitely.
Sonata's, he's just not the most popular guy in the company, even though he's the champion. He carries himself well. It just ain't clicking, and it ain't clicking for business. And I don't even really think it's his fault. It's just, not everybody's that guy. Sonata is the perfect example of why your favorite wrestler should not always be the fucking champion. I can't stand when people say, like, oh, this guy should get a belt. Like, no, he shouldn't. Just because he's really good, just because you like him, that doesn't mean that he's going to draw money, he's going to do good business. It just ain't going to work for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, Naito's probably going to come out first as the challenger, and he's going to be waiting in the ring, and Sonata's music is going to come on, and Naito's going to be like, "What up, turd?" Naito should definitely go over here. The Sonata thing hasn't been working for a while. They really haven't. I mean, like you said, I like that he was giving guys chances, and to that end, he has been a very useful champion, I would say. Yota Tsuji is got megastar written all over him. When they first put the belt on him, I was like, oh, that's cool. That's different. Didn't see that coming. But I'm with you. It's not like I was ever craving for Sonata to get a shot with the title. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. He's just not like... He's not that. I mean, there are guys in that company that have mega wattage, and he's not one of them. So, Naito is a guy with mega wattage, and I think that Naito goes over here.
I was thinking about this. There's a lot of NXT darlings, and even NXT darlings that were really good NXT champions that would not be good WWE or AEW world champions. And Sonata is a perfect example of that. It's the big fish in a small pond, kind of syndrome. I'm thinking of Andrade, Malachi Black. They just ain't AEW World Championship level, right? Even
right.
Think about the greatest NXT World Champions, Gargano and Ciampa. They ain't WWE Championship material in comparison to some of the stars there,
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that when talking about Gargano.
You could build a smaller company around him. I just don't know. I don't know. Sami Zayn could have been, but yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking about that. Maybe I'm just getting cynical in my old age.
Well, the thing is, nobody can be champion while Roman Reigns is around.
Yeah, I just think of stardom the AEW or the WWE has right now with Cody and even Brock and those guys and the part timers and it's Rollins and it's just a lot. They haven't really gotten an opportunity to shine like that either, so I could be being unfair. But when I think about, I think I was just kind of comparing Sonata. I'm like, Sonata would have been amazing in NXT, but he just ain't it, on a bigger stage.
Right. Okay, so that's Wrestle Kingdom. That will be showing very, very early in the morning next Thursday. So.
Oh, so when we do the pod, it will man, I don't even know if I'll have gotten a chance to watch it by then.
Yeah, I know. It kind of sucks, but we kind of have to do the analysis. The people come to us for analysis.
Give them what they want.
We got to give them what they want. What they need us for. We're journalists. That's going to do it for our 3 count.
I'm like training a guy, so I can't even like really do a 6-day. So,
well,
anyway.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it. We'll get it done. That's going to do it for our 3 count.
1, 2, 3.
This is banned from Ringside.
Oh, Zach's not going to be able to watch Wrestle Kingdom before the podcast next week?
Unprofessional bullshit.
So, let's play some music for this one. It's the wrong fucking music. That's what I get. All right, so we have World's End, which is this Saturday. It is a 9-match card. So, let's kick it off with Hook versus Wheeler Yuta for the FTW Championship. FTW rules. Who you got, Zach?
I'm going to go with Hook just because what else is he going to do besides be the FTW champion? And Yuta is also the pure champion, so it's not under pure rules, so he can't lose his title. So they're just both champions with different rules. I don't even know what FTW rules are, but I'm going to go with Hook.
I think FTW rules are you have to go to Taz's house and just start eating out of his pantry.
You just gotta you guys gotta smoke a cigar and you gotta eat 3 pounds of salami with no water.
and two plain Pop-Tarts.
What did you say? Smoke a cigar and eat 3 pounds of salami with no water. That is so good. All right. Yeah, we're all taking Hook. Okay. So up next we have Ricky Starks, Big Bill, and the Don Callis family versus Les Sex Gods, Sting, and Darby Allin. Jason took the faces here. I, too, will be taking the baby faces here. I'm taking Les Sex Gods and Sting and Darby Allin. Pick against Sting at your own peril, and for that reason, I'm making this my Stone Cold. No, I'm not doing that. I'm taking the baby faces. Who you got, Zach?
Yeah, I will. I'm not betting against Sting. Probably won't even bet against him in his retirement match.
No, you know what? I am making this my Stone Cold Lead Pipe Lock of the week.
Oh,
everybody taking the baby faces.
Here we go.
Up next, we have Toni Storm versus Riho for the Women's Championship. Who you got, Zach?
Toni Storm. They're going to keep this thing going. Rio's a good challenger. They're going to have a good match. So.
Yeah, everybody's taking Toni Storm here. Makes sense. She's an overact, and she's pretty cool. And like I said, Rio's a good challenger because people can get behind her. There ain't no way that Rio's win this. I'm making this my Stone Cold Lead Pipe Lock of the week. All right, yeah, that's right.
That's 2 of them.
I get as many as I want. I'm down by so many. We have Julia Hart versus Abaddon for the TBS Championship. Who do you have, Zach?
I'm going to say Julia Hart, and that's my Stone Cold Lead Pipe Lock of the week.
I, too, am taking Julia Hart, and I, too, am making this my Stone Cold Lead Pipe Lock of the week. Jason also took Julia Hart. Up next, we have a singles match that's got Angle written all over it, but could be a really cool match. We have Miro versus Andrade. Jason is taking Miro here. This is a tricky one, and this one could go either way. I, too, am going to take Miro for storyline reasons. Who do you have, Zach?
Yeah, same. I had Miro even before I heard you guys say it.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm not going to make that my Stone Cold Lead Pipe Block of the Week, though, because I can see it going either way. But this next one is going to be my Stone Cold Lead Pipe Block of the Week. We have Shane Swerve Strickland versus Keith Lee. The weirdo Keith Lee. That's what his name should be. I'm going to take Swerve Strickland here, getting his shit back. Who you got, Zach?
His eccentricity is limitless. I got Swerve.
Swerve in our glory. Would you like to make that your Stone Cold Light Pipe Block of the Week? Too bad, you already used it. Jason, it's so cold
here. I think Liv Morgan was listening to Swerve's album recently.
Oh, did she get a DWI?
No, she got pulled over though for driving I guess she was improper lane usage, but she got pulled over and she got arrested for weed.
Oh, Liv Morgan, what you doing? Up next, we have.
I'd like to find out.
Christian Cage versus Adam Copeland. Zach, you get to go first. Who you got?
Oh man, I don't think this title does anything for Copeland, and Christian is just on such a tear right now. I think it's perfect to keep this thing on Christian, even though Copeland's coming in hot and he got screwed out of it the last time. I'm still going with Christian.
Yeah, so am I, and so is Jason. This belt is beneath Edge. He's too big of a deal. Jason was here, he'd be going, whoa, 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 whoa. And I understand that Edge is a big deal. I just don't see him holding this title. And Christian should keep it. There's no reason that Edge should win here. Up next, we have in the C2 finals for the triple, what do they call it? The Triple Crown. We have Eddie Kingston versus old buddy Jon Moxley. I will go first. I cannot see Jon Moxley walking around with the Ring of Honor Championship. I'm not sure why, though, but it doesn't feel right to me. I'm taking Eddie Kingston to retain.
Yeah, I mean, so
Whopper of the month.
Two things, actually three things. Eddie Kingston put his titles on the line to make this a Triple Crown championship. Two, this is a pay-per-view in New York. Eddie Kingston is from New York, if you couldn't tell. C, Eddie Kingston absolutely, like Moxley said it, his idols are, Triple Crown, All Japan, Kings Road, that's his shit. This tournament was pretty much made for Bryan Danielson, but it was made for Eddie Kingston to win. And this championship is folks. Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, so we both have Eddie Kingston. Jason Cornelius Bell also has Eddie Kingston.
Do we have anything different yet?
No. Nobody has anything different. I don't think we're going to either, because we all took Eddie Kingston, and then finally we got MJF versus Samoa Joe. Jason took MJF. I, too, am taking MJF. I just don't see them taking the belt off him right now. Who do you got?
Yeah, I've got MJF. Again, this is a New York crowd. MJF, from Long Island. Also, Samoa Joe's a fantastic contender for the title. And I think he could be. I think he is that guy. I think he could be.
For sure.
But there's a lot of people on the horizon for MJF that they're building towards, and there's a lot. He's got a few more months of matches. They're going to be doing these monthly pay-per-views. He's got to face Wardlow. He's got to face maybe Hangman. He's got to face Swerve. And so I just don't think Samoa Joe's the guy to take it off of him. So, yeah, MJF.
I'm taking MJF also for all those same reasons, and Jason has MJF too. So we all have the exact same picks right down the line.
I think they might throw a couple matches on the card because they tend to do that, or maybe even just one more. I feel like they've been building that House of Black FTR match up. So they might throw that on the card too. Not that we need to do predictions because it's not official, but
Right.
that might be a match where we pick different people. But
All right, and that's going to do it for our predictions tonight. It's cold out here. We're going to close up shop with no odds and ends. I mean, we could talk about some NXT stuff that happened. I guess the most important thing is that Ilya Dragunov is going into that match with Trick Williams next week, very injured. So keep your eye on that. Some good stuff happening there. We got a really short list of birthdays this week. Ray Fenix is 33. Justin Roberts, the Dapper Yapper, is 44. Jimmy Hart is 79. And good old JR, Jim Ross, is 72. Hey, everybody. We know there's tons of podcasts to listen to, so we appreciate you guys listening to ours. For my beautiful family in there, for
Check.
Jason Gordon, well, for Tinder Hall,
Check.
for Lucha Chris, for
Check.
Murray the Murray Man Murray, for
Check.
Patriot Pat,
Check.
for Vice,
Check.
for Two Beer Zach Pullman,
Check.
for Jason Cornelius Bell.
Check.
We missed you. We're going to have a bunch of stuff next week, so tell your friends to listen. Black Lives Matter. Support your local weed dealers. Support your local restaurants. Have a happy new year, and never, ever forget to boo the heels. Boo!